Preparing. Okay, welcome writers. I want to teach you a strategy for note-taking that has lots of uses and applications all through your life, and you might use it even starting today. It's called sketchnoting. You're noticing right from the start that I'm not even writing at the top of the page, which probably freaks you out because I always ask you to write the heading at the top of the page. And guess what? Sometimes notes don't have to happen that way. Sometimes you get to have choice about what you want to do. And I want to show you that today. So sketchnoting usually or often can start with a main idea right up front and center. And then I'm kind of adding in this other idea that this is also called mind mapping sometimes. And I don't really feel like I'm giving you the full course on what sketchnoting is. I'm just giving you a little bit of a sample, like a taste of it. So instead of a full meal on what sketchnoting could be for you, instead of a full meal, I'm kind of giving you like an amuse-bouche. I did that wrong because when you have a plate, on the the left-hand side has the fork, and the right-hand side has the knife and the spoon. So let's pretend. So instead of giving you the full meal, I'm just giving you a little snack, little candy about what sketchnoting could be for you. And I kind of am hinting at what it is right now by illustrating the idea of a snack versus a full meal, because the whole point of sketchnoting is taking that which is verbal, meaning words, and turning it magically into visual. So it's the idea of taking words and it's the idea of turning that into a pictorial. And you can tell by the word pictorial that that means a picture. So instead of drawing an apple, maybe I would illustrate an apple. And then here's where the fun begins, because why have a black and white apple when you could magically take some fun jellies and all of a sudden make your apple in color? Why leave just a boring arrow when you could snazz it up a little bit with some colorfulness? And those of you who already have note-taking strategies that you really love, like taking Post-it notes and putting it all over the place, why not continue to use those ideas? And then maybe you could use sketchnoting as part of it. So this becomes part of your note-taking strategy. And maybe it doesn't replace what you already know how to do, but maybe it adds to it. And so this idea of sketchnoting, I kind of think of it like it's like a key to a new way of trying something out. So maybe I'm unlocking that for you today. See what I'm doing? And maybe that's going to take what you can think about. Oh God, this is your brain. Can you tell? And it's going to make your brain just go, whoa. Like, I can try something new in the way that I take notes. And sometimes your teacher is going to be standing there at the blackboard. Here, I'm going to make myself very gorgeous with this beautiful hairdo and it's time for some color. It's time for some color. And I want purple eyes, I guess. Here's your teacher at the board, and she's pointing to exactly what you need to write, A, B, C. And sometimes you have to stick with that, and sometimes you don't have to do it the exact way that the teacher says, because maybe you have a way that works for you better. And you can think of a way that taking notes makes sense for you. So maybe you're in science class. Can you tell what this is? It's like a beaker and there's potions. We definitely need some color in here. What color would this potion be? Green. And the beaker is, this one says that it's blue. Wait, where's the one? There's one of these that says that it's blue, but it actually writes in purple. Let's see. Oh no, yes, told you, it's purple. So maybe you're in science class and you've got a teacher who's explaining to you laws of motion. Are you doing that? Have you heard of that in your life? And maybe instead of writing down in words what 1, 2, and 3 could be, maybe you know objects that are in motion tend to stay in motion, and you can figure out ways to draw that. Or objects that are at rest tend to stay at rest. Or maybe you know, what's the other one? I don't know it, but you could figure out a...
Equal and opposite.
Oh, yeah, equal and opposite reaction. Look, so we just sketch noted for science, and maybe your brain works in a way that takes what is verbal, and it's better for you to kind of illustrate it. And guess what? This is really hard for me to do because my life is verbal. Like I read books, that's words on the page, and I talk for like a living, right? So my life is words out loud. It's not really images and pictures. That's hard for me. But when I try to open my mind to this new way of thinking, whoa, oh, it's time for color over here too. Let's not fool ourselves. Mind blown. And so there are some reasons why you might do this, right? Here's the part that I'd like you to write, but maybe you won't write it in my exact way. And in life, sometimes there are just lists to make. So sometimes that's a way to take your notes, right? Listing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why? What are practical uses for this type of note-taking strategy? Why would you do this? Anyone? Anyone? Why would you take notes and make them look visual? Oh my gosh, I just heard someone say maybe you would do it for brainstorming. Maybe you would. Like that's a pretty practical application. You could even illustrate brainstorming. Or maybe you're in class and I'm here to tell you that as your life proceeds academically, as you head into science and history and math classes, it's going to be your job to write down notes, and your teacher is not going to always tell you what to write. And I'm here to tell you that maybe you should start practicing now in middle school, and maybe this way of doing note-taking is going to be what works for you. Maybe this way of kind of illustrating your notes makes sense for you. And there are people in the real world who teach adults how to doodle. I'm not even kidding you. There are people. I watched a TED Talk on it, so it must be true. Maybe you love a topic. Look, I'm not even writing the word love. Maybe you love a topic and you want to show it in a picture. Like maybe you are super obsessed with, well, I'm thinking of my son. He's super obsessed with wrestling. I could totally picture him taking everything that he knows, or sharks, that's a better one. I could picture him drawing a shark at the center of the page like this. He would draw the shark here, and then he would draw lines off the shark and say everything he knows about it and everything about megalodons and stuff like that. Maybe you need to help others understand something. And so if you think back to our essay writing lives, and I'm using a Post-it note because I told you sometimes we do that. We've done some sketchnoting already because I showed you this. This is a visual representation of an idea, yeah? What is that? It's the shape of an essay, body paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. Some people were silly and they made their paragraph shapes look like this. And I didn't literally mean that your paragraphs were shaped that way. I didn't literally mean that. I just meant that's how it feels, right? So I'm taking this visual representation of meaning. And that's the whole point of these notes. What about, oh, I know. Here's where we're going to use these in our class for notebook entries. So I wish that I had thought to teach you a little bit more about sketchnoting and mind mapping way at the beginning of the year, because I think some of us are clinging to traditional note-taking strategies, and some of us might really be well served by testing some of this kind of stuff. And I think that's it. I can't think of a number 6 for now, so we'll leave it blank. And what I want your help with now is when you are trying these strategies, like how did I do these notes? What was I doing in these notes? Take a look. What did I do? Say things out loud. Yep, but let's get particular. If you wanted to go back to your desk when you are visually representing your thinking, what are you doing on the page? What strategies are you trying? Images, and what do the images typically seem to be? I've got a key, I've got a brain, symbols. So you're using symbols to, thank you. Teacher of the Year award just flew out the window. So your images are symbols of something else. Like here's like the super common one if you love a topic and I drew a heart instead. Like anytime you could use an image instead of a word, try that. What else did I do? Oh my God, are you asleep? yeah, branching off, so I'm calling that lines. And the lines serve some purposes. They're connecting ideas, and they're also kind of moving me on. So I'm moving on from just thinking about sketchnoting here, and I'm like picturing where it could really happen. There are some words included, right? So it's not totally just pictures. I added in some kind of like captions here and there. Totally included shapes and like frames around certain things. So sketchnote, I put this frame around it because it seems really important. And look how you don't have to be a good drawer. You just go fast and furious. And shapes, frames, totally did doodles. Like this kind of stuff up here. These doodly little lines, they have meaning though, right? Like what do those hairy lines, Muppet fur, off the brain, what does that mean? It has a meaning, right? It's pulsing, it's moving, it's showing thinking. Oh, this is another one that I love for thinking. Da 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 da. Right? Light bulb, click, aha moment. So I had that aha moment about getting better in our writing, and I also had this aha moment about trying new things in our note-taking. Today, I want to give you some time in class to try this out. So think about why would you want to be brainstorming in this way or taking class notes in this way. Maybe you have something going on in a class right now, like a concept in science or a concept in math, and you'd like to try to fill a page with notes about it. Maybe you love a topic and you want to kind of show off what you know. That one reminds me of my son and sharks. Maybe you have something you need to explain to somebody else. I think about coaches, like on the field when they sketch out the plays and stuff. That's totally sketchnoting. This is real life writing, and that's one of my goals for you this year. And then this is where we're headed. You'll do another notebook entry tomorrow, and so maybe you'd like to practice a notebook entry today where you're sort of implementing some of these strategies, doodling and words and lines and images and connecting. Oh, and you forgot the biggest one. My big strategy is to add color. Why not? It makes it look cool, and there's research that says that when you do sketchnoting instead of just note-noting or just what the teacher tells you for noting, that it builds connections inside your brain and it really makes you learn better. So I'm super excited to give you a chance to try this today, or if there's a piece that you were writing for Lifelong Writer Project, continue with that. Or you've already had time to read today, but if you feel like you want to read more, you could do that.